Hello class, this is section 7.5, Han Contact with Other Cultures, and this is assignment 55 when you're taking notes on it. There are three main ideas in this section. Number one, farming and manufacturing grew during the Han Dynasty. 2, trade routes linked China with the Middle East and Rome. 3, Buddhism came to China from India and gained many followers. Alright, so first I'm going to talk about manufacturing. Okay, so advances in manufacturing resulted in increased productivity. So manufacturing would be like making things. Making things in today would be in factories and that sort of thing. So as that became more advanced, productivity went up, meaning they were able to make more of these things for the people. And as that happened, China was able to connect with other cultures around the world through trade and communication with other cultures. So some pictures here, you can see some of the different forms of manufacturing they had back then, and then the pen pals in the corner is just kind of connecting to the idea of connecting with cultures around the world. Iron weapons and armor made the armies of China more powerful. So you can see here some swords and weapons made of iron. Over time they tend to rust and go bad, but you can see what they look like. And then the iron wheelbarrow and plow also were developed, which allowed farmers to haul 300 pounds by themselves. So that allowed them to farm more on their land and allow them to raise a lot more food. Chinese women of the ancient period knew the secrets of making silk. Revealing these secrets was even punishable by death, so it was a huge secret for them to keep. And they used powerful looms to make beautiful fabrics. So looking here, this on the top left here, this picture, there is a scene in the Ballad of Mulan that we watched, the Ballad of Mulan, not the movie, where she was at the loom weaving, and this kind of looks similar to that. And then you can see, okay, here's a silkworm where the materials for silk would originate. Silk and pottery were valuable to other cultures and increased trade. And Han armies conquered lands to the west and traded silk and pottery and these items for powerful horses. So they used what they had in silk and their ability to make pottery and silk to get other items they needed, such as powerful horses. Traders used special overland routes like the Silk Road, that's important, the Silk Road, to get to distant buyers. Most traders only went a certain distance and passed items off to someone else. So it was not common for one person to travel the entire length of the Silk Road. They would go a certain distance and then someone else would continue the journey from there. Most traders, traveling the Silk Road was extremely difficult. Okay, extremely difficult. So often they traveled in large groups for protection. Armed guards provided protection from bandits who would steal items from people along the Silk Road, but also things such as icy blizzards, desert heat, and blinding sandstorms made journey along the Silk Road very, very difficult. And silk was very, very valuable in Rome, which you can see on this map is far west of China. But when they learned that the Romans, really placed a lot of value on silk, it made China extremely rich. Just by trading with the Romans, that was enough to make China rich. And you can see in this map lots of other, symbols and imagery for different areas. But yeah, the Romans definitely placed a lot of value on silk. The Chinese exchanged ideas with other civilizations. That's what this picture on the top right, exchanging ideas. And one idea in particular was Buddhism, right, which came to China from India. This is called diffusion, when ideas spread from one place to another. You can see in this map, how it spread out of India into other, throughout India and other countries and other areas, including China. As the Han government became less stable, many people suffered. Right? Suffering is common, and one common thing to do when you suffer is to look for answers. So the ancient Chinese looked for answers in Taoism, right, which is the idea that you live in harmony with the Tao, kind of go with the flow. Confucianism, which we learned is all about, largely about morals and family and um, all those sorts of things, but also Buddhism. And with Buddhism, rebirth and relief from suffering were comforting to the Chinese. That would be attractive, right? If you're suffering and you're living a poor life, the idea that you are just living one life and the next life you can move up in the world, that's a comforting idea. And Buddhism caught on with both the lower and the upper classes. It wasn't limited to one group of people. The big idea for this section is that trade routes led to the exchange of new products and ideas among China, Rome, and other peoples.